OMG, Tracy found Ronnie lying in a pool of blood. ABC General Hospital spoilers. The night had fallen thick and heavy over Port Charles, the kind of night that carried secrets and tragedy in its shadows. The halls of Quatermain Mansion were unusually silent. Tracy Quatermain had returned home late from the hospital board meeting, her heels clicking sharply against the marble floor. She was furious. ELQ's board was once again divided, and Ronnie's name had come up in a conversation she wished had stayed buried. But nothing could have prepared Tracy for what awaited her just beyond the study doors. She pushed open the heavy oak door, muttering under her breath, "Ronnie better have a damn good explanation for disappearing during the vote." Her voice froze. There, under the dim chandelier light, Ronnie was sprawled across the floor, motionless, a dark pool of blood spreading beneath her head. "Ronnie!" Tracy gasped, the scream tearing from her throat before she could stop it. She ran forward, her hands trembling as she knelt beside her friend, or perhaps her greatest enemy. She still wasn't sure these days. Ronnie's pulse was faint, her breathing shallow, her lips trembling as though she wanted to speak. "Don't you dare die on me!" Tracy shouted, shaking her shoulders. "Do you hear me? Not now, not after everything we've been through." Blood smeared Tracy's hands, and panic set in. She fumbled for her phone. 911. This is Tracy Quatermain. I need an ambulance, now. There's been a stabbing. Her voice broke as she looked down again. Ronnie's eyes fluttered open. "Tracy, it wasn't supposed to end like this." Within minutes, General Hospital was chaos. The ER doors burst open as EMTs rushed Ronnie in on a stretcher, the red stains still visible against the white sheets. Dr. Hamilton Finn and Elizabeth Weber met the paramedics at the entrance. "What happened?" Finn demanded. "Possible stabbing. Deep abdominal wound. We stabilized her en route, but she's lost a lot of blood." Tracy followed close behind, her face pale and streaked with tears. "Please, you have to save her. She was fine just this morning, she was threatening to go public with something, but I didn't think." Finn shot her a sharp look. "What was she going public with?" Tracy hesitated. Her mind flashed back to Ronnie's cryptic words that morning. "If I tell the world what I know about Drew, about Monica's will, everything will collapse." I can't," Tracy stammered. "Not yet." Elizabeth caught the look between them but said nothing. She had seen enough Port Charles secrets to know when to stay quiet. When Jason Morgan arrived at the hospital, the tension in the air was thick. He'd gotten the call from Sonny, who'd gotten it from Dante, who'd heard the ambulance code come in. He found Tracy pacing outside the trauma room. "Tracy, what happened?" She looked up, startled, her eyes bloodshot. "I found her like that, in the mansion. There was blood everywhere. I thought she was dead." Jason's voice was calm but firm. "Did you see anyone else? Any sign of forced entry?" Tracy shook her head. "No. The doors were locked. Ronnie must have let whoever it was in." Jason's jaw tightened. "Or she knew them." Tracy's breath caught. "What are you saying? You think someone she trusted did this?" Jason didn't answer. He just stared through the glass at Ronnie's motionless body. Whoever did this wanted her silenced. Hours later, Ronnie was in surgery. Tracy sat in the waiting room, wringing her hands, when Drew Kane walked in, his expression grim. "I heard about Ronnie," he said. "Is she?" "She's in surgery," Tracy replied, her tone sharp. "You wouldn't know anything about this, would you, Drew?" He blinked. "Excuse me?" "Oh, don't play innocent with me," she snapped. "Ronnie told me she found something about Monica's real will. You were the executor, weren't you?" Drew's voice hardened. "Tracy, this isn't the time." "Oh, it's exactly the time," Tracy hissed. "Because Ronnie said she had proof that you changed it." Drew froze. The color drained from his face, just enough for Tracy to notice. "You'd better hope she wakes up," she said, her voice trembling. "Because if she dies, that blood is on your hands." Inside the operating room, Dr. Finn worked fast. The knife wound was deep, nearly fatal. Ronnie had lost too much blood, but her will to survive seemed unbreakable. "Come on, Ronnie," Finn muttered. "You've survived worse. Don't you dare quit now." Elizabeth handed him a scalpel. "She's stabilizing slightly." "Good," Finn said. "Let's keep her that way." Detective Dante Falconeri arrived shortly after midnight. He found Tracy still seated outside the OR, staring blankly at the wall. "Mrs. Quatermain," he began softly. "I'm going to need your statement." Tracy blinked, coming back to life. "I told you, I found her like that." "I didn't see anyone." "Any sign of struggle?" "No, but the study was a mess. Papers everywhere." "Maybe whoever did it was looking for something." Dante frowned. "Something like the will?" Tracy froze. "How do you?" "Word travels fast in Port Charles," he said grimly. "Ronnie's name has been tied to Monica's estate for months. If she had proof, someone tampered with it." Tracy finished the thought. "Then someone had a motive to make sure she never talked." Earlier that evening, Ronnie had been in the mansion study, pacing nervously. She had a folder in her hands marked ELQ, confidential. She had been debating whether to tell Tracy everything or sell the information to the highest bidder. Her phone buzzed. A text flashed across the screen. "We need to talk. Alone. Tonight." It was from an unknown number. Ronnie hesitated, then typed back. "Who is this?" The reply came instantly. "Someone who knows what you did." She froze. Her heart pounded. Before she could respond, the lights flickered. The door creaked. And then, a shadow moved behind her. "Who's there?" Ronnie whispered, fear rising in her chest. But there was no answer. Just a whisper, and the sharp flash of a blade. The next morning, Ronnie stirred. The machines beeped softly as she tried to open her eyes. Her throat was dry, her voice weak. Where am I?" Elizabeth smiled gently. "General Hospital. You made it through surgery. You're safe now." But Ronnie's mind was racing. The last thing she remembered was that text, that voice. Someone she trusted. "Tracy," she croaked. "I need to see Tracy." Elizabeth nodded. "I'll tell her you're awake." Moments later, Tracy burst into the room. Her relief was overwhelming. "Thank God." "Ronnie, who did this to you?" Ronnie swallowed hard, tears filling her eyes. "Tracy, it was someone close. Someone inside the family." Tracy's blood ran cold. "What do you mean, inside the family?" "ELQ," Ronnie whispered. "The truth about Monica's will. Drew isn't the only one hiding something. It's—" The monitor beeped loudly. Her words cut off as she gasped for air. Doctors rushed in, pushing Tracy back. "Ronnie, stay with me." Tracy cried, but Finn's voice was firm. "We need to stabilize her, now." Tracy was forced out of the room, her heart shattering. Later that day, Tracy cornered Drew in the hospital corridor. "She woke up," Tracy said, her voice like steel. "She tried to tell me who attacked her." Drew's expression shifted just enough to make her suspicious. "What did she say?" he asked carefully. "She said it was someone inside the family." Tracy leaned closer. "Sound familiar?" Before he could respond, Ned appeared behind them. "What's going on here?" Tracy turned sharply. "You tell me, Ned. Because Ronnie might have just died over something to do with ELQ, and you've been awfully quiet about those missing shares." Ned's face flushed. "Tracy, this is insane." Jason appeared then, breaking the tension. "It's not insane if it's true." All eyes turned to him. "Security footage from the Quatermain mansion shows a man leaving around the time of the attack," Jason said. "Face covered. But he had access, someone who knew the codes." Drew swallowed hard. "Who?" Jason's blue eyes were ice cold. "We'll find out soon enough." That night, as the hospital grew quiet, Elizabeth checked on Ronnie one last time. Ronnie was barely awake, whispering in a fevered haze. "Behind the portrait," she murmured. "Study, drive." Elizabeth frowned. "What?" "Ronnie, what drive?" But Ronnie had already slipped back into unconsciousness. Elizabeth hesitated, then called Tracy. She said something about a drive hidden behind a portrait in your study. Tracy's eyes widened. "Oh my God." Within an hour, Jason and Tracy were back at the mansion. Jason lifted the portrait of Edward Quatermain. And sure enough, taped behind the frame was a small USB drive. Jason plugged it into his laptop. A series of documents appeared, including a digital scan of Monica's original will. Tracy gasped. "It's real? She wasn't lying." Jason scrolled further, until a name caught his eye. "Tracy," he said quietly. "You need to see this." Her breath caught as she read the final line. Executor of the true will, Ronnie Spencer. Hours later, Dante received the forensic report. The knife used to stab Ronnie had no fingerprints, but there was a partial glove fiber. The kind used by ELQ's private security. He went straight to the hospital. Tracy, Dante said. We may have a break. The attacker had access to ELQ security gear. Only a handful of people do, Drew, Ned, and you. Trace's eyes flashed. Are you accusing me? I'm saying someone wanted this to look like an inside job, Dante replied. And whoever it was, they are not done. 2 days later, Ronnie finally woke, fully conscious this time. Tracy was there, refusing to leave her side. Tracy, Ronnie whispered. The drive. You found it. Tracy nodded. We did. But there's something I don't understand. Why didn't you tell me before? Ronnie sighed weakly. Because I didn't trust you. Tracy froze. You were the one who told Drew about the will, Ronnie continued. He thought I'd sold him out. But it wasn't me, it was you trying to test his loyalty. Trace's jaw tightened. That's not true. Then why did Drew confront me that night? Ronnie whispered. He said, Tracy told me everything. Tracy went pale. Oh my God. Before she could respond, the door opened, and Drew stepped inside, his expression dark. So, you told her, he said quietly. Tracy turned. Drew, what did you do? He smiled coldly. I didn't mean to hurt her. But she wouldn't stop digging. Ronnie's eyes widened. You tried to kill me. Drew stepped closer, his voice low. You were about to ruin everything. ELQ, Monica's legacy, the whole family. I couldn't let you destroy it. Jason burst in just then, gun drawn. Step away, Drew. For a moment, silence. Then Drew slowly raised his hands. Jason, this isn't what it looks like. Jason's tone was icy. It looks like attempted murder to me. Drew was arrested that night, though his lawyers immediately began crafting a self-defense narrative. Port Charles buzzed with rumors. The media had a field day. But for Tracy, the damage was already done. She sat by Ronnie's bedside, watching her sleep, her thoughts heavy with guilt. I never meant for this to happen, Tracy whispered. I just wanted the truth. Ronnie stirred. You got it, but at what cost? Weeks later, Ronnie was released from General Hospital, still recovering but alive. She decided to leave Port Charles for a while, to heal, body and soul. Tracy watched her go from the mansion balcony, the wind whipping through her hair. As the car disappeared down the driveway, Jason appeared beside her. You did what you had to do, he said softly. Tracy shook her head. No, Jason. I did what I wanted to do. And people got hurt. He looked at her, sympathy in his eyes. Port Charles always finds a way to heal. Even when it bleeds. Tracy managed a faint smile. Let's hope so. As she turned back toward the mansion, her gaze lingered on the study, where it had all begun. The blood had been cleaned, the portrait rehung, the secrets buried once again. But in Port Charles, nothing stays buried for long. Ronnie returns with shocking evidence that could exonerate Drew, or destroy the Quatermain legacy forever. Tracy faces a haunting decision when a new will surfaces, naming an unexpected heir. And Jason discovers that the true mastermind behind the attack wasn't Drew at all, but someone far more dangerous.